Welcome again to another Mainline Executive Coaching ACT. Leaders, are you ready to lead? Let's lead on with what we're doing today. We're going to be talking about procrastination, picking up from what we started this morning. Rich and I, this is Rich, my partner. Rich Barron,
Hello.
I'm Maikel Bailey with Mainline Executive Coaching ACT, Action, and Culture Transformation. That's what it's about. Procrastination is not so much about action, though. There may be a lot of busy work that's tied up in not taking action. So it looks like I am doing something, but I'm really not.
Yeah, it's not a superpower, by the way.
It's not as it's a super pooper power. I mean, I call it that. So we're going to talk about four different ways that four different styles, business style. I never thought of it that way. Four different business styles of
Yeah.
how to procrastinate. This comes from Business Insiders. There's an article up there. Four main types of procrastinators. Now, not to be one of them, according to two accountability coaches. So let's discuss it. They've come up with these coaches some pretty interesting insights. So let's start it up. Go ahead. Where do you want to take this?
Well, let's talk about let's break this down. Let's start with the first one, which is really the performer. They call themselves the performer, but it's really the perfectionist. And so, how many people do you know that really claim that they get a burst of energy, last minute burst of energy, and that's where they do their best work? But if you really break it down and look at those people, they're perfectionists. They cannot get it to their liking, so it keeps getting put off and put off and put later till all of a sudden we got a deadline looming, and all of a sudden this big spurt of energy comes out and it gets done, and you may beat the deadline, you might be right behind the deadline. But the problem is, if you really take a look at it, there may be problems with it. But it's that putting off till the very last second, and and these people think they're performers. Man, I do my best work under pressure. No, you don't. You put it off till the last second, and you may have been able to pull it off at the last minute, but that doesn't mean you just did your best work at the very end.
That's right. Where do you think people learn that particular pattern from? I think we talked about it at one point. Do you remember talking about when do you write your book report?
Yeah.
When do you read the book that's due at the
Yeah.
end of the month? It's like staying up all night, and then your next day, the day it's due, you're writing it there at the breakfast table.
Yeah.
That's where you learn that nonsense.
So how do people get out of that one, Maikel?
The thing about that is simply this: accept the fact you're going to have to make corrections.
Yeah,
That's just the way
absolutely.
it is. Nothing comes out perfect the first time. Just to accept the fact you're going to have to make change. I know you probably hate it. You don't want to go back and correct it. You don't want to do the spell check, the grammar check, the rewriting of it. But man, I'll tell you what, whatever it is that you got to do, expect mistakes. And here's the deal. It's the whole idea of failing forward. Fail forward fast, frequently, often, that kind of stuff. Fail forward, ferociously. If you're going to fail, big time, so you can see the
Yeah.
mistakes, come back and correct it. Don't worry about it. Stop hanging up that you got to get it just exactly right, because to think that you got to get it just exactly right is the dopiest idea ever. It's just dopey. Even if you get it right, like you said earlier, the whole thing is, how much better could it have been if you really would have taken the time to put it together a way that's really going to be,
Right.
top notch
Right.
excellence.
Yeah.
You're going to hurry up and just cram it through. What are you setting yourself up for? Are you learning to just be a get by person, or a leader of real excellence here? What do you want to be?
And that's the thing about the leaders who are perfectionists. The next step for them truly is learning how to be an activist, how to really put that plan into place beforehand, not at the last second. And so that's really the trick, is learning how to take those skills that you have as the perfectionist who wants things done, the top quality, the best you can possibly do, but get it done earlier. Get
Yeah,
it done, put that plan into place earlier. Flip that script.
absolutely. Because one of the reasons people follow you, leaders, one of the reasons they follow you is they see how well you do things, how well of a performer you really are in terms of being able to be productive, to make things happen, to provide the services, to get the products done, whatever it is. They're looking at you. Is this a person that genuinely knows what they're doing? Or are they just, pencil whipping in? Are they just faking it till they make it? Or them, whatever it is, that nonsense you're telling yourself. It's not leadership. It's get by stuff. That's what you're doing. So knock it off. Go after it for real. Start early.
So what about the next type of procrastinator, Maikel? The self-deprecator. Now we're getting we got to give some credit to the people who came up with this article.
Yeah.
And this comes from Business Insider. Ali Schiller and Marissa Boisvert.
Yeah.
I hope I didn't barbecue your name, Marissa. But this great article on these certain type of procrastinators.
Yeah. Good stuff. That's good. So the overbooker is a person that's, they're always so busy, and because they're so busy, they can kind of give themselves an excuse about, well, how come I can't do it? I got so much going on anyway. These are people that just don't seem to know how to really prioritize.
Yeah.
They don't know really how to organize things. So they operate in this chaos. And it looks like they're being really busy, and they kind of are, but are they really being productive? It's kind of a way to fake that you're really being productive because I'm so busy. It's just an excuse because you don't want to be evaluated. You don't want to really have people to look at your performance. So you're always blowing off. I'm too busy with this. I'm too busy with that.
Yeah.
It's if there's anything that goes into this imposter syndrome, this would be a symptom to me of imposter syndrome.
Absolutely. Yeah, part of that overconfidence effect. And there are people that we know, Maikel, that really like to fill their calendar up. It makes them feel good about themselves. Man, I got this full calendar, top to bottom. My entire day's booked out with talking to different people. And in the end, how much quality conversation do you have with all of these people? Are you able to have a real quality conversation, or are you able to get a real quality product put together? Or are you really able to take care of that thing that needs to be done when you've booked yourself to the point where you can't effectively accomplish anything? And so things start falling out. Some of those things start falling out, and it all becomes, well, I'm just too busy. Like you said, I'm too busy to get that done. I'm too busy to take care of this. Well, my calendar's full. Well, whose fault's that?
It's not that. It's just that.
Yeah.
I'm just way too important. Okay. So there's another one here, the self-deprecator. I'm so lazy right now. Lazy. They label themselves lazy. They're kind of self-deprecating to put themselves down. These people generally are working really hard. They mean to do things. And what they don't do, again, that's another kind of perfectionist. If they don't get it just right, exactly perfect, and all that kind of stuff, they really, lambast themselves. They're very hard on themselves. They call themselves names. Have you ever known anybody who was motivated by calling them a name put down? You're such an idiot. Would you please do that now? Usually it's like, no.
Yeah.
No way. Yeah.
Yeah, so, I got your idiot right here, pal.
Yeah, motivation by name calling and deprecation is not one of the strong suits of any leader.
No. And part of this too, if you're just too dang tired from all this work you're getting done, take a break.
Yeah.
Take a break.
Get off your back.
Yeah. Put your work aside and get away from it for a little bit, then come back.
Yeah.
With a fresh mind, fresh set of eyes, fresh set of ears, whatever that may be.
Yeah. You're probably a lot better at what you do than you recognize.
This last one, I got to tell you, is probably my favorite.
Is it that you do, or you just find it entertaining when you watch them?
The novelty seeker.
There's got to be some, you're in the music business. There's got to be some people that are like that. It's like, oh, I got this cool idea. Let's do this different now. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah, the shiny object syndrome is what they're calling this. You've seen that show Up,
Mhm.
where you've got the dog's squirrel. You know, you're talking to him, squirrel, off on a tangent. So
That's right. And they're probably people, in all honesty, have ADD or ADHD. They're great idea generators. They're great at, new angles, new thoughts. The problem is you got to put them into a context where they're focused on the things that matter now. We know of a business that's really struggling and is going down because the CEO is, I got a better idea. I got a better idea. We're talking another company. Their leader, the founder was, I got a better idea. I got a bit every 60 to 90 days. I got a better idea. And
oh
so
yeah,
there's
yeah.
no stability. There's no strategic plan that can be implemented. It's just always a problem. So this idea of, I got a better idea. Eventually what it is, we understand you're bored. However, the self-discipline that we're asking you to do here in your job is stick with the course, follow it through, finish what you start.
Exactly. Finish what you start. That's the problem. Is too many people get too many little projects going. They see something else that gets their attention, and there they go. They're off. So they get too many irons in the fire all at once, and nothing is getting completed.
Yeah, you got to prioritize. That's a big deal. What's going to give you the biggest payoff? When's the deadlines coming up, and all those kind of things. Got to really think it through, evaluate it. Otherwise, you're just going to be out there, a rag in the wind, tied to the top of the main sail, and just whichever way the wind blows, there's where you are, and that's a terrible way to be. It's a high anxiety, high pressure. Just settle down, just calm down,
Yeah,
focus, follow through, finish.
yeah. You know, and really, procrastination, Michael, is a habit, and it's a bad habit.
It is.
And it's one of those things that takes focus. It takes working on that habit to break it, to develop. And it's not just about breaking that habit, it's developing other habits to take its place.
Yeah. One of the best things that I can tell people is this: if you are highly distractible, and this really works, I'm telling you, this really works. Put a clipboard by the side of your computer on your desk somewhere and have line paper there. And every time you start to get distracted, whether it's email or something that pops up or phone calls or whatever it is, write it down. Don't judge it. Oh, I won't write it down. Do it. No, write it down.
Yeah.
Self-discipline. Every time you do that, you get distracted, just write it down. After about 3 or 4 days of doing this, you'll start noticing some patterns.
Yeah.
You'll notice some patterns. And then you'll start noticing, oh, I'm doing this thing again. I'm doing this thing again. And just keep writing it down. And eventually what happens is your brain gets tired of being distracted. And you say, why am I doing that? That doesn't make any sense. You do that for about 2 or 3 weeks if you can do it, knowing that you're a highly distractible person.
Yes.
If you can do it, I tell you, you will change your life. You'll literally change your life because you've just figured out what your patterns of distractibility are. And then you'll start feeling more mature. You'll have owned it. You'll be more proactive in addressing it, taking care of it. And then you'll start seeing the need for prioritizing, organizing. But that's it's a hard price to pay. But the other side of that, man, it's great stuff.
Absolutely. And it's all about that 1% better every single day.
Yeah.
If you don't think you're gaining leaps and bounds every day, that's okay. That's okay. The point is just do it. Just start doing it. And these things. The thing about procrastination too, and in business, you have a lot of people that are watching you. And if you're a leader, so they're watching you. A lot of what their work does depends on what you're doing. You
Yeah.
know, and so it's important to make sure that if you're a team player, if you're working on a team, or you're in a position where people count on what you do so they can do their work, it's important to make sure that you're getting it done ahead of time. Give people plenty of opportunity to complete their tasks, and it's important to make sure that you're communicating with those around you. If you have a problem, don't put your head in the sand. Ask for help.
Yeah. You'll
Ask for
notice, you notice the quality of your work goes up, the
yeah,
quality of your team goes up, and the retention of your team will go up.
absolutely. Absolutely.
All right. I think we've done it.
I
Let-
think, yeah, I think we didn't wait till tomorrow to do this one. We did it today.
We almost did. We almost.
We almost, yeah, we almost saw something else we wanted to do and did something else.
There you go. Okay, let's take it home.
All right. How about some shout outs? Some shout outs. We've been doing this.
Sherman Oaks, California.
Yeah, Sherman Oaks.
I grew up in that area. Woodland Hills, Canoga Park, Sherman Oaks, Tarzana. Yeah, that's a great place. It was a lot of fun growing up there.
So where is it?
It's in the San Fernando Valley.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, just Valley Girls.
Valley Girls and in Sherman Oaks.
Valley Girls and dudes.
Okay. Well, we want to hear from you from Sherman Oaks and tell us a little bit about yourself. So, but once again, we are at the end of another rousing episode of Mainline Executive Coaching, ACT. We truly appreciate all of the support we get from our listeners worldwide. And we wish you all the best. So until we meet again, take care of each other, be safe, and we'll talk to you.